presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love, Y Familia, with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about, live in your hometown. Playing Chicagoland from January 19th through February 5th. Free parking with ticket purchase. Visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
Riis Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Remy said a Juke-a-thon day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, that not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
But every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day. 'Cause I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Might be a small thing, kind of revolving around a situation that don't happen often. I mean, it's involving something that's scalding. Hot the topic is, it needs some resolving. It's kind of puzzling, took time solving. But after I thought about it, sent her to Walgreens to pick up a few things to stop me from stalling. Otherwise, I'ma be blunt and she gon' be bawling. And I don't need that, or her brother calling. Talking them fight words, now we gon' be brawling. I'm more of a stand-up, I don't be falling. For that okie doke, it's better dissolving. Call me a nice guy, yeah, I like nice things. It's best to stay away from chicks that's trifling. I'm not a rival, so I don't be rivaling. But end up in this scene, I won't be wifing, you know?
Avoid a quick fail, take heed to this wise tale.
If you feel me like Brill, take heed to this wise tale.
Whether male or female, take heed to this wise tale.
Outside or in jail, take heed to this wise tale.
She got a secret, don't know where she keep it, don't know why she hide it, guess it's convenient. She like a zebra, two things at one time. It ain't black and white when you lived it a lifetime. She got a story, might be a fable, no categories. She don't like labels, she like a loner. Maybe she's selfish, something is fishy, but she don't like shellfish. She say that her phone broke and she need a new phone. She got a night job, now she got two phones, one for the pubic, one for the public. I Freudian slip, y'all, I think that you dug it. She got a curfew, she live in the group home, but she in Miami, getting her look on. She can't be truthful, not what she built for. Mouth might be useful, but nothing to kill for, you know?
Avoid a quick fail, take heed to this wise tale.
If you feel me like Braille, take heed to this wise tale.
Whether male or female, take heed to this wise tale.
Outside or in jail, take heed to this wise tale.
Want to send your child to the best fit private school but don't have the financial resources? Apply for the Illinois Tax Credit Scholarship Program. It has provided over 37,000 scholarships worth $300 million. The application opens online Wednesday, January 18th at 6:30 p.m. and submissions begin at 7 p.m. Scholarships are first come, first served for families who qualify, so apply as soon as possible. For more information, call 1-800-616-7606 or visit www.empowerillinois.org. Empowering families, empower communities, empower Illinois.
Hey, Chicagoland! All roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
WIFTVPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I am solo dolo, so y'all gonna have to bear with me today. I'm in this joint kind of solo dolo by myself. No DJ Riis the rule. I don't know what's happening. Maybe overslept a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but it is the Maze Jackson Show. We are here, and we are back the day after King Day. Yep. It's the day after MLK Day, and I am in the building. I'm kind of fired up, man. Kind of fired up, feeling good. We are now in the meat heat of election season, and I'm about to get in what Devin calls my bag. Not get the bag, but be in my bag, because I am planning to, we got a lot to talk about today. But it is a great morning to be alive in the city of Chicago, and I'm grateful to be here. I got to tell y'all, I am coming down off of a natural high. I'm coming down off a natural high because yesterday, I cannot lie to you and tell you it did not feel good. I can't lie and tell you that it didn't feel good to be back in the mix. Now, we're not mainstream. We are not, obviously we're on a small station. We do more of our work on social and digital. But yesterday was kind of the first time we had been on the road in a live broadcast on the road in a broadcast outside of going to TP/Obsidian. We've had our on-site concerts, etc. But yesterday we were back in the mainstream at the Marriott Marquis, which was a little bit different than where we were ordinarily. But I gotta tell you, it felt good to be in the building. It felt good to be in the seat. It felt good to see all of the people. There were a lot of people who really did not realize that we were still on air. And that still is something to me. And I feel like I might have to just do a campaign. Unfortunately, I'm about to leave the air space, so maybe I won't do a campaign. But I must tell you that it felt good to be there yesterday. Wasn't really sure how it was going to go because that was our first live broadcast off-site where, we were in the mix. Can I tell you how we ran that whole broadcast off of my Wi-Fi? Because I couldn't even sign in on the Wi-Fi yesterday. But it was great, man. I had a good time. I hope that you all enjoyed the interviews. I hope that you enjoyed the people that were willing to sit down with us. There was a lot of people that were still ducking, running, avoiding us, etc. But I got to tell you, the best part of that is when people who would like to discount you see how the people respond. And so it's funny because some of the people who have gone out of their way to be very difficult to make my life kind of crazy. You know how people be kind of like, you ever been somewhere where people be disrespectful of you any other time, but then when they see you in front of people and they see how people respond to you, then they want to be cool to you? Because they be like, oh, you mean people actually rock with you and it's not in this little bubble that we try to be in? I think that people, and let me do this. I think that people, we've got to figure out how do we, and me too, how do we talk about these issues that are offensive without offending people, so we can get to our ultimate goal, which is to fix it. But I do want to know if you all were there yesterday, if you had a chance to watch the broadcast. I did not get a chance to watch the broadcast. I got to tell you, every time I do one of those, or when we used to do it in the past, I would write up a big old script and prepare to do all these things, and then it just becomes one of those things where it's not, you don't have time for a script, you don't have anything. I was trying to talk to y'all about the wonderful the King statue in Boston yesterday, so I'm going to bring that back up. But I do want to know if y'all, Riis is not here, so I can't turn on the phone lines right now, but I will work all of this out. But it is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, here live on a Tuesday. Blowing up. See, I could do it on a Tuesday. Now, this made me say I got to put me a switcher right here so I don't be stuck. Not a switcher, but what do you call it? A roadcaster, so I don't be stuck. But y'all got a chance yesterday to see DJ Riis the Rule on the camera. See, this is what happened, man. You put people, you make them a star, then they don't want to come to work the next day. They be like, man, I'm famous. So DJ Riis the Ruler was there in the building. People was like, you do not look like your voice. I think people, when they see Riis, they be thinking they going to see Barry White. Not Barry White ain't. He ain't You'll Never Find. That's Lou Rawls, right? All right, y'all. It is the Maze Jackson Show, and I actually, because I'm a little discombobulated, I'm gonna ask you to bear with me for a hot second because I left my notes plugged into the wall. I still have not gotten a printer cartridge. Although yesterday I was at the house last night and I was actually cleaning up. You ever clean up your stuff and clean up so you can't find the stuff that you have that you bought, so you rebuy it? Then when you rebuy it, and then you come back in and you see that you got it. Shout out to my man, Carl Murray. Y'all should have seen Carl out there yesterday. Carl was out there rolling with the congressman. Man, he had his hat on. Look, man, I'm going to tell you what I love. And Tank, you got to stay out the camera, man. Big Tank, you the man. I know, dog. I seen you. Jonathan Jackson rolling like Jay-Z in this mud. But Big Tank, I saw you on the news conference too, man. You kind of big, so you step up. But I do want to... Shout out to everybody who was out yesterday in their best clothes, doing their best thing. And I got to tell you, the best part of it all was, y'all know we the best, right? Y'all know the Mace Jackson show is the best, right? And it was proven yesterday. It was proven yesterday. If I had the opportunity to, I really should have panned the camera for y'all yesterday. But in case anybody is not clear who is the king of the morning right now, just in case. It was funny too, because yesterday somebody was like, well, one of my, I don't want to call it let me stop, because I'm through with this non-competition stuff. Y'all around here talking about everybody prizes and all of that good stuff, and everybody's the greatest and everybody's a winner. Well, yesterday I was counting and I was watching, and here goes the funniest thing. The funniest thing was the people. Like yesterday was one of them moments where that the people, you got the people. Now I don't know, and I'm not the best at fundraising and all of that stuff, but I gotta tell you, in the world of, and I mean this in the most humble, respectful way that you can say, you the king. But it was clear yesterday at the broadcast, with everybody lined up next to each other, where the traffic was. Now, we did pick a good spot, I ain't gonna lie. We did. You know how people be picking the spot they thought was the spot, but then it ain't the spot? So we was like right there when you first walk in. But I must tell you that it was like a family reunion. You know when you go somewhere and you see all the people that you ain't seen in a long time? And they like, nice, cuz, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? And the best part was seeing the people who you know shaded you, trying to look out the corner of their eye to watch what you're doing, right? But they know I see you, you see me, we both looking. I know we all looking. Except mine is big and yours is little. And I just must tell you that yesterday was one of those great things. It was funny because at the end of the show, one of the competitors came up and said, well, how'd you think it went? I said, oh, it went okay. He said, well, if I was you, I would say that it went excellent, and I would never say that blah, 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 blah. Well, really, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. Because you ever seen that, you ever heard when Beyonce be like, if Jay-Z walk out on the stage, he could walk out on the stage and just stand there and he'll get a standing ovation for like 2 minutes. And then you got the other people that got to go out and they got to dance and they got to pop their locks and they got to do all this stuff. I mean, I don't think I ever got up from my chair except to go to the bathroom. And I think people was jumping up trying to flag them. It was just Tennille, you needed to be there yesterday. You needed to be there yesterday so you could document what was happening. It was funny. They snuck the mayor past. I'm going to talk to y'all about it because the whole Chewy thing, the art of the skillful dodge, but it was one of them things where, I almost used the mic to say what I was really thinking, because it's like, all right, so y'all want to come stand by the What's in it for the black people table? You know you ain't going to scare. Look over here. You could come sit down. And it was funny because his man was standing right there, and it was like they was looking. And what the funny part is that watching that event yesterday, the love that I was shown by the people, black people, I bet they was thinking like, damn, we wrote them letters about dude. And I was waiting. Because if he would have sat down, we was going to talk about them letters. And I was going to ask him about the migrants. And I was going to ask him about all the other stuff, but he broke out. Paul Vallis was there, but Paul was running around crazy. Now, we talk to Paul anytime we want to. No diss, but we can talk to Paul Vallis whenever we want to. I'm going to talk to you about the people that stopped by. Shout out to Dr. Jeanette Wilson, who made an opportunity for their I don't know all these initials, so y'all gonna have to tell me because I can't think of it. But I must tell you, it was a good feeling, and it was like, what is this ninja doing here? We thought we were safe. We thought we got rid of him. Nah, you ain't got rid of me. We still here. Yeah, man. So it was a great time yesterday. Shout out to everybody who came over by the table, sat down, gave us an interview. We got to talk to our boy Cam. We hadn't talked to him in a minute since he been running, actually. So it was good to talk to him. It was good to talk. I didn't see Dr. Wilson there. It was funny because I saw the mayor there, but the mayor, hey, man, I got to ask, check this out. The mayor was like, hi, I'm mayor. You know how black people, when you supposed to clap and you don't clap, and then the preacher be like, it'd be like, amen. Amen. Can I get an amen? The mayor had to come back at the table 3 times to get y'all just to be like, it was like, hi, I'm the mayor. They was like, and so, what you doing, man? Anyway, blah, blah. Mayor, that was 2 times, then 3 times. Excuse me, is that as good as we could get? For you, yes. Y'all, you know what I did not do yesterday that I really... God be working in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways because had I been thinking, I would have told Riis to play the Anjanette commercial nice and loud so that right before she went up and spoke, everybody could have got good and remember. Because y'all be dressed up and y'all be forgetting how everything go. But I must tell you, it was a great time yesterday. Shout out to everybody. I got to make a list of all the guests. But one of my favorite guests yesterday was my man, Kenny B. Y'all saw Kenny B? Kenny B, first of all, Kenny B be carrying that camera around like a cameraman. What is the deal with black people and the fact that we can work until we are like 90? Probably slavery, because they probably worked you till you were 90 as a slave. But I got to tell you, yesterday the room was packed, but I got so many observations, so many thoughts about kind of the legacy of Operation Push, and I really want y'all to do me a solid, and I want us to recognize that we really do have a civil rights icon in Jesse Jackson, regardless of your feelings. And a lot of people have a variety of mixed feelings, but Jesse Jackson, quite frankly, is a civil rights icon. And yesterday was an opportunity for me to see mortality, right? Because I don't know if y'all have ever sat with Jesse Jackson, but he ain't no little dude. He's not a little dude. I told you about that time I was doing an interview with him and I was not feeling him at all, and he literally put me in a headlock the whole thing, and I really couldn't get out of it. I couldn't get out of it without, trying to steal on him. But what you gonna do? Hit a 70-year-old man? So I just want to tell you, it was great yesterday to see all of the people back in the building. But I gotta tell y'all something. Times are a-changing. Times are a-changing. And it was real to me yesterday. You could see it no sooner than, it was, I gotta say, it was something to see this dude that has marched, talked, taken everybody, taken on the world, freed hostages, been everywhere. I told you, I remember one time I was in the lobby and Jesse Jackson was stealing out. Well, let me stop. I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But to see this giant in a wheelchair, but still fighting, still pushing and looking at his legacy. And I think, it's got to be a proud moment when you are able to send your son to Congress. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Y'all say, look, man, yesterday was about not giving people an excuse to not talk to us. So there's a lot of people that have advised their candidates to stay away from us. But we want to make sure that we give those candidates the opportunity. I wasn't in the space yesterday to try and jam anybody. That wasn't the goal yesterday. The goal was to celebrate the King Day holiday, to maximize the interview opportunities, and then go from there. It was funny because Ricky was hitting me up like, you let Brandon off on the migrant question. We're going to talk about that too because I got questions about that. But first, what we got to do is we got to take a break. Now, I got to tell y'all, I'm going to be running in between the back and forth because I still ain't heard from Riis. So you're going to have to bear with me on this show. And we got guests today, so I'm going to be running around here looking a little crazy. So in the meantime, hold on. I'm going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, we are going to, without any bells and whistles, we are going to get into the headlines plus the social media question of the day. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. There will be no This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and we'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Do you want to send your child to the best fit private school but don't have the financial resources? Apply for the Illinois Tax Credit Scholarship Program. It has provided over 37,000 scholarships worth $300 million. The application opens online Wednesday, January 18th at 6:30 p.m. and submissions begin at 7 p.m. Scholarships are first come, first served for families who qualify, so apply as soon as possible. For more information, call 1-800-616-7606 or visit www.empowerillinois.org. Empowering families, empowering communities, Empower Illinois.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leading me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. Please. Please don't leave me now. Gethsemane, God got to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, God got to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, God got to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, God got to the grave, from the grave. Back to glory. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. From glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave back to glory. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. God's gonna turn it around. Glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha to the grave, from the grave. God's gonna turn it around. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord. Have mercy. Have mercy. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, well, I actually don't have my man, DJ Riis, the rule. I'm flying solo dolo, man. You know that's the rule. Never leave your fate in the hands of someone else. That's why you get to have skills. So you gonna mind me a little bit. I'm running back and forth, but we are doing our thing. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and you know what? I did not get into any headlines. Look. It was the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Day. Do y'all remember when we were fighting for the holiday? Sing, celebrate. Sing, celebrate. For King, celebrate. Remember when everybody was on the song? Like, remember when everybody collaborated? Like, when it was like, you could see New Edition and Stevie Wonder and everybody was just like, it's all love. It seems like times have changed. But let me do this. I'm going to get in some of the headlines real quick. The mayor's race yesterday was service with a twist, right? Because the mayor's race yesterday, everybody was doing their King Day of service. Did Chewy do a King Day of service? Does he celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Day? I saw he made a Facebook post of black people looking out the window. But does he do a post? I mean, does he do an event? We saw yesterday Jamal Green, shout out to Jamal Green, who did his day of service. He was giving away free food and free meals. He also gave away groceries. Like, took a page right out of the Willie Wilson book. Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson was over at Sweet Holy Spirit. I didn't see him at the push breakfast, but I did see him over with Bishop Trotter at the Sweet Holy Spirit. Cam Buckner was at his high school alma mater. Shout out to Cam, man. He did say, I'm from Chicago. He said, I can't lose and go back to Ohio. Hey, man, I look, man, I understand that for some people I'm a little challenging, especially in these times, because people will send a letter and say, you went on the Maze Jackson Show, etc. But I got to tell you, man, I'm proud of my boy Cam regardless. Representative Buckner, because whether he wins or loses, as he talked about, man, Springfield's going to be a new day in Springfield. And I really don't. Okay, it's two things. One, I would love to see, like, some of these people get out of pocket. I can't wait to see when Cam got to go into a room for the speaker and be like, so what, y'all not voting with the speaker? You know I'm 6'5", 300 and something pounds, and I was a defensive lineman, and he won't do, the inference. But can you imagine, like, all the smack at the press conference if Cam was behind the counter? Hey, man, I think of all the good stuff, and I understand the things that go on in politics, and everybody can't. It's funny. Somebody said, Jerome said, did I charge anybody for the free advertising? Did I charge Cam for the free advertising? Let's be clear. you hear a lot of commercials. So there's Nidra Williams. It's Solo Beauty. There is, for a very short amount of time, the Broken Screen people. Shout out to Mr. Robinson. There is Empower Illinois. And there is the Reverend Dr. Willie Wilson, who remains the biggest support, the biggest advertiser of the Maze Jackson Show. But let's just be clear. There are a lot of products and things that we promote on this show for people who have never, ever, 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 not once, ever, ever, ever put a dime into the show. So if we're going to be talking about people advertising and free advertising, like my thing would be, guys, one more time, we all know that this is a self-funded show. So there is nothing preventing anyone from supporting the show. So before you point a finger at Cam, shout out to my man Jerome, though, because he be on the chat. He be on the, since we got the, and don't forget Super Chat and don't forget Power Chat, Power and Super Thanks. But I just want y'all to know, a lot of people come on and talk. I have supported everybody, whether it is on air, whether it is financially, regardless of what it is. And it has not necessarily been reciprocated. So let's not, like yesterday was about providing you all with some additional content. It wasn't about the advertising dollars. As a matter of fact, we had to pay to be there. So if y'all want to do something, help me raise the $1,500 we had to pay to be there. But it was worth it. But let's glass houses and stones. Let's not critique anybody. Unless y'all gonna critique, this is what we gonna say. If you hear a commercial, then they probably have advertised. If you see them talking, they haven't advertised. And I will tell you that it is always the way, like everybody call me and say, man, I got a problem, I got an issue, I got a something. Can I help you? You know who the first person to call me and say? Dr. Jackson. Even if you don't support me, I want to support you. I love you and what you do. Thank you, Jerome. Shout out to Jerome Williams, who just put the $20 in the US in the super chat. So let's just make sure that we don't be. Now, what I would love for y'all, shout out to We the Brutes too for the $9.99 US dollars. This is what I need y'all to do. I need for you all to help us keep the show afloat. So then we don't have to rely on other people. I love you back, brother. I love you back. I love all y'all back. That's why I do it, right? Like I don't, people be like, you need to, Chris Devine was snapping on me the other day. Like, did you collect the money? I was like, no, I need for you all to say that. Right? It's like anybody that we support, you all support. Now, the question you have to do, because everybody be coming in bragging, they be talking about, man, I went by the place, you told me I did the thing. What you have to ask them, or you have to do is say to them, I am here because I listened to you on the Maze Jackson Show. But I haven't heard a commercial from you. Right? Just think about it. Y'all have spent commercial money at different places, and I'm not tripping because I'm here to support everybody. And I don't do it, but I do need you all to start pushing the envelope. So when you ask people, when they come through, you be like, are you advertising? I put the fire to Willie. Willie was like, man, you ain't sent me an invoice. I must tell you, Tennille wrote an invoice for Willie on Friday. By Tuesday, the check was here. So be on the lookout because Willie Wilson finna get all the love. It's just because, hey man, he supports the thing. And yes, Jerome, I know you support me weekly. There are plenty of you that support me on a regular basis. And what we want to do is we're probably going to have a breakfast in the very near future. We're getting some sound put in right now so we can make sure that we have a great experience. But we're going to do something great for all of our listeners. All right. I don't know if you all have been paying attention to the police district council races. These are the district councils which will preside over your local police district and decide what activities, how they spend their budgets, etc. I was actually going to run for this. And I snoozed And when I snoozed on it, I actually could have ran because there was an open seat in my space. But what is also happening is the FOP is now investing in candidates. And they are actually in the process. It's so funny. They're trying to knock candidates off the ballot to ensure that the police departments locally stay in local control by the police people. So be on the lookout for that. I know that there's some of you all that are running, particularly like in the Beverly area, who are running against straight up entrenched police. So people are asking, can they come on the show? Okay, so let me ask y'all a question. Like, if I seen you shading me on Facebook, or if I seen you talking smack about me, and you don't realize that I know that you've been talking smack, then all your peoples be hitting me up like, you know my peoples, and you know your attitude changed because now you're running for office. I am curious to know, and you know I'm going to be a softie and I'm going to let everybody good, but I do be like, you do know I saw you talking smack about me, right? And it's so interesting because the business of politics, same people you see up are the same people you see down. And I got to tell you right now, we're going to talk about endorsements, but I got to tell you guys that the endorsement game that I have been seeing has been pretty weak. Pretty weak. And so we're going to talk about these endorsements and what endorsements actually really matter. Yeah. So I think that's something we need to check out. Hey, y'all, do y'all realize it was 50 degrees yesterday? 50 degrees yesterday. 50. In January. Global warming is real. I kind of like it, though. Until we get the, 51 degrees in some cases. The only thing I'm worried about with this global warming, guys, is that it is going to be snowfall in July. And so that is my biggest fear. So we just got to make sure that as much as we like this warm weather, that we be cool. Diane, I seen your family yesterday. I seen your son, your daughter. Man, your daughter is doing super well. I ain't gonna tell you where she work at, but I'm proud to see her have grown up and done her thing, doing her thing. I seen your son, the rapper, producer. But you know what the first thing they said? My mama listens to your show every morning. And that's why I was like, that's why I love me some Diane Scott. And let me ask you a question, because see, you know Diane's family, her son got a sneaker business, right? So how does Big John Scott show up in some Jordans with a suit? I remember when he was the Fixer. He probably still is the Fixer, but the Fixers in Jordan. Shout out to my man John Scott. We ain't going. Shout out to all the people. Oh, let me back up. Much love to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha who celebrated their founders on Sunday. Extra big shout out to the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated who celebrated their founders yesterday. Those are our constitutionally bound sisters, only constitutionally bound sisters. But I must tell y'all, I ain't getting no invite to nobody's nothing. The Deltas didn't invite me. The AKs didn't invite me. The Zetas didn't invite me. But it's okay, because I show everybody all the love. Then y'all be posting pictures like, yeah, everybody was there except you. But it's okay. I got love for everybody. Much love to all. Shout out to the Kappas who celebrated this year. I'm not, shout out to the greatest fraternity of all, the men of Phi Beta Sigma. And Latasha Dirty Red. Y'all woke up feeling frisky this morning. Shout out to Latasha Dirty Red with the $20 USD. Now I want to remind y'all, don't forget the super chat and the super thanks. Also, gotta say, What's up to everybody from WBGX 1570 AM? Want to say what's up to the Saints who join us every day from 6:30 to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday on WBGX 1570 AM. I would tell you could give us a call at 872-259-7474, but my producer's not here, so I got to figure that piece out in the next break. 872-259-7474. You'll be able to talk to us a little bit later on today. Shout out. Okay, so I did the founders. Also want to keep this top of mind. Don't forget State Senator. Don't forget, Brandy, I didn't know you was a alpha lady of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Shout out. Oh, Chicago's candidate town hall this morning at 10:30 a.m. at the Chicago Union Station. Wait a minute. I got to go check that out. Shout out to Cassandra Matz, who gave us that information. Cassandra will set up a meeting. The state Senate seat, the 5th District, formerly occupied by Ricky Hendon, currently occupied by Patricia Van Pelt. Look, y'all, that I want that. I really am on it, and I need your aid and assist. We need to mount a people's campaign. Last time there was a people's and that wasn't a people's campaign. 2 people made a campaign to end my dream. But it is sincerely, I believe, our time. And in the event that we don't get the appointment, I'm going to ask all of you from across the city to join with me as we mobilize. Because if they don't give it to us, then I guess we're going to have to line ourselves up and, do what we got to do. Who watched the playoffs last night? Y'all saw my man Tom Brady go down, but I need for y'all to know, I'm a Cowboys. I'm a second. So I'm rooting for the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl now. So I want the Cowboys to be at the Super Bowl. And so we are going to be hosting the playoffs next week at Obsidian. I hope you all will join us. Also, I know y'all going to trip out, but I also got to let y'all know this Thursday night at Obsidian, we will be hosting check it out. We'll be hosting a fundraiser for 3rd Ward Alderman Pat Dow. We've come a long way, guys. We've come a long way. So if you are interested in that, please come down. BP1, what's in it for the black people? First, we need y'all all to be in the building. But if you are interested, we want to ask you all to come on down on Thursday from 6 to 9 at Obsidian. If you want to support Alderman Dow, we got some things we got to talk about. But look, y'all, I'm getting back in the game. Told you. We got to start building allies. So check that out. Tom Brady, man, he went down firing. Hey, man, do y'all know this man threw 60 passes yesterday? 60. Yeah, man. The Bears bonanza. Are y'all paying attention to the Chicago Bears? The Chicago Bears bonanza. We have the number 1 pick. First of all, I'm tired of these people talking about trading Justin Fields. We done picked 2 quarterbacks with our top picks in the last 5 drafts. Look, this is what we need to do. We need to get Justin Fields, and then we need to keep Justin Fields, and we need to put a team around him. We know that he could play because we saw him play in college. But y'all got nobody with you. Who said Tom Brady needs to retire? Okay, y'all gonna be mad at me, but okay. I love the advent of the running quarterback. I do. I mean, the Lamar Jacksons, the Justin Fields of the world, and I appreciate all of that. But can I tell you did anybody watch the Jacksonville game with Trevor Lawrence? Okay, so as black as I am, man, I missed the drop back quarterback. I'm tired of watching games where the quarterback got 150 yards passing and 150 yards running and 200 yards passing, and we call that success. That's what we got running backs for. I want to see some touchdown passes. And so it was a great weekend in playoff football. Shout out to Harold E.K. Williams with the $49.99 coming through on the YouTube. Shout out to Harold E.K. Williams. Hey, man, I'm going to tell y'all, Harold going to be a political consultant extraordinaire at some point. We're going to get him straight. Portillo's. Did y'all hear this? Portillo's say your money is not good here anymore, at least in the drive-thru. I don't know if y'all remember growing up, but they used to talk about a cashless society when I went to church, to the white people church, and the cashless society. And we was like, what you mean cashless? Ain't nobody never going to be cashless. What you mean no money? Cashless? Well, Portillo says if you come in the drive-thru, they don't want your money. You got to go inside. I must tell you that the tap is too easy. Like, I feel like I need to start going back to spending cash only because, you know, when you tap, you don't even be looking. You just be like, give me a thing. They could put $3 million on that bad boy. But ding, it be gone. And the next thing you know, you looking around, but when you got to count out that cash, you be like, man, I just spent. Can you imagine spending $2,000 in cash and $2,000 on the card? $2,000 in cash, you're going to be like, nah, I'll put that back. $2,000 on the card, you don't never even see it. I'll make it back. But Portillo's, no. And then they opened up a Portillo's in Texas. Portillo's in Texas that people waited in line for, and they was talking about how awesome it is. And that is only because you just don't know. And I got to tell y'all, Portillo's, shout out to Portillo's, whatever. I am a very, Tennille and me, we grew up in Portillo's. Now, Tennille was a little bit later because she's 8 years younger than me. But when we first moved to Bolingbrook, it was like the third Portillo's in the history of Portillo's. Like, my old man used to bring us Portillo's from, if you go in and they got that little hot dog stand, because where he worked in them suburbs, and he would bring home Portillo's. Man, we'll be so fired up to eat the Portillo's, the hot dog. That's the first time I ever had a Chicago-style hot dog. And now Portillo's is corporately owned and is garbage. Burgers ain't as big. The fish sandwich done fell off. They stopped selling the lemon cake. You know, some things you just leave alone. Some things you just leave alone. All right, y'all. And then so I'm going to point this out, and then I'm not going to dwell on it. But I want you to understand that this is probably going to be something regular. All right, so it is not lost on me that they are now putting so there's stories in the paper about migrants coming here and living and sleeping in the bus shelters and not having a place to go. Okay. I want to tie that to the story that we saw yesterday in Oak Brook, where two men broke the back door in Oak Brook, and went in the house, ransacked it, robbing it, while a 16-year-old girl was in the house. She called her dad, her parents, and called the neighbor, and the neighbor called the police, and they caught one of the guys, and the other guy escaped in the woods. But this isn't the first time it's happened. Now, let me tell you who the culprit was. Let me tell you who the culprit was. The culprit were two Chilean immigrants. Immigrants, don't know. But I gotta tell you that people are going to figure out a way to survive. People are gonna figure out a way to survive, and if they don't have resources, then guess what? They're going to take them, because you're not going to let your family starve. But at least they were smart enough to go to Oak Brook, because you know you're going to clean up in Oak Brook. But the question becomes, what happens when that happens and our migrants are under-resourced in Chicago? Something that we need to be taking stock of, because I think it's something that we're going to see. Also, I don't know if you all saw the Dr. King statue that was unveiled in Boston. I'm going to put it up there because I feel like they're trolling us, guys. Aunt Tennille told me that she loved the statue when she saw it from the first angle. And she was like, oh, it's so great. It's a warm embrace. But this looks like I'm putting it up there because this looks like one of those things where it's saying, what do you see first? Can I tell you what I see right there? I don't want to tell you what I see right there. But I do think I want to know who the artist was. I also want to suggest that, people are suggesting that these things happen innocently. I don't know that that is the case. And I want to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it yesterday at the King joint, but I didn't want to be disrespectful. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, how you get that as the MLK statue? And I know there's other angles, but for $10 million, that is, I'm just not feeling it. We're going to talk about it. I really want to open up the phone line, so let me figure if I could do that, and then we're going to take a quick break. So y'all bear with me. We'll be back after these messages. This is the Maze Jackson Show. And then don't forget, at 7:30, we'll be talking to the people from Empower, Illinois. It is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Do you want to send your child to the best fit private school but don't have the financial resources? Apply for the Illinois Tax Credit Scholarship Program. It has provided over 37,000 scholarships worth $300 million. The application opens online Wednesday, January 18th at 6:30 p.m. and submissions begin at 7 p.m. Scholarships are first come, first served for families who qualify, so apply as soon as possible. For more information, call 1-800-616-7606 or visit www.empowerillinois.org. Empowering families, empowering communities, Empower Illinois.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Hello?
Steve Standing. I've never been lucky at love, no never. I've never been good at holding on. A heart broken so
to the Maze Jackson Show.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve wrong. Just look in the mirror, realize you great. Yeah, we always argue with our brothers, but ain't nobody gonna take our place. Just stay in tune and stay on top about who forwards, about who not. Just green light all the black economy, then watch all the shooting gon' stop. To my black people in power, just remember we put you in power. If you really wanna save all the black princesses, be Mario and not Bowser. They gave us a hard job. We gon' make it if we do it together. Divided before, we gotta evolve. With confidence, you are winning before you started. With no confidence in the people, we always gon' be defeated.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and we are doing our thing live. Y'all gotta bear with me because I have no producer this morning, but it's all good. We gonna make our thing happen. Ooh, I'm screaming, I'm hollering, so we gonna let this song go. It is the Maze Jackson Show.
The only thing that this country responds to is power, economic power and political power.
IIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media just for you and me. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, It's the Maze Jackson Show. Live. Now let me let y'all know, coming up at 7:30, we got the people from Empower, Illinois coming in the building. Shout out to my girl, Anita Andrews Hutchinson. You know I love Village Leadership Academy. Gotta say big love to all of the people from Village Leadership Academy who will be here shortly. Plus I got Nathan Hoffman coming in as well. But look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. And man, I don't know if you all saw. Well, let's back up. I'm gonna skip and I'm gonna go to. Can you open up the phone lines? I am going to go to the social media question of the day, and just for tickles and giggles, I'm going to show you all a variety of angles on the. No, I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna show you a variety of angles on the King Day statue, but I'm going to take a step backwards, and we are going to ask the social media question of the day, because I think it was important that we talk about this a little bit, and then I'm going to come back to the phallic Dr. King statue, because like Tennille, I feel you on the forefront, and that if you look in the right corner, Boston unveils the Embrace statue, but then I want you to see all of the other angles. See that angle right there? That looks like, then I'm going to show you all the angles now, so you can see why black people could potentially be offended, because I do feel like they trolling us. But let's stop and let's take a quick break, and we're going to go back and get to the social media question of the day. I was talking about the migrants that broke in, the Chilean migrants who broke into the home in Oak Brook yesterday. And I don't want to get all into the hype and, these scenarios, but I do think it's important that we think about the impact of the migrants coming to Chicago. And I think it's really playing out in the Woodlawn community. And this is one of those moments where I want to make sure that it's not just me. So Riis, if you don't mind, I would prefer if you could hit the button.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
What is the black position on the migrant issue? Now, if that is Mama D, I'm going to have you call back, because I'm going to move from the topic of the King discussion, and then we're going to come back to that, right? So if you're calling about your thoughts on the King statue, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I want to get to this migrant issue, because a lot of people hit me up yesterday after my interview with Brandon Johnson, and said, you let him off the hook because he never really answered the migrant question. And I think we've seen all of the stuff that's going on in Woodlawn with Wadsworth Elementary School. But honestly, it was 100 people. 100 people that the migrants are coming to their neighborhood. But does that really reflect the opinion of black people in regards to the migrant relationship and our relationship with migrants? And so what I'd like to do is ask, what exactly is black people's position on the migrant issue? Yesterday, I feel like there was a lot of clever responses, right? Let's back up. Cam was pretty direct. I think Brandon Johnson was indirect. I think he kind of danced around the question and said a bunch of stuff, but never said yes or no. Do you support the migrants being housed in our communities? And so my question is, how do we not how does Mays feel, but how do you feel as black people, knowing that we are having an influx of migrants coming to Chicago, and there are limited places? I don't know if you all saw today in the Tribune, they said that the migrants are staying in bus shelters. They're arriving here and they're homeless, so they're arriving and they're staying in bus shelters, etc. Now, I got to tell you, Riis, if I come here with my family and we ain't got nothing and I can't get a job, we're going to eat. We're going to figure out a way, whether it's we grow flowers, whether we go in homes, whatever it is, we're going to eat. And I was thinking about, what does this mean when you drop 500 people in a neighborhood that is under-resourced already, and then you tell the people in that community that they have to bear the resources, or that the resources from them are going to this group, or realistically, do we believe that charity, well, I say charity begins at home, but I want to know what you think. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. What is the black position on the migrants arriving in Chicago and being deposited in black neighborhoods? I want to talk about that because it was funny yesterday. By the way, while I was there, Chewy and his squad stood about. They came in and they would, how people come in with the expectation that we finna blow this joint up. Everybody should be happy that we here. That really wasn't the case. But let me tell you what they avoided like the plague. The what's in the black people first table, the what's in it for the black people media table. They stood real close, but they didn't want none of that smoke, because I think that there's a real question. And I also think it's a real question that needs to be forced to the table for Chewy Garcia, because again, remember when I told y'all about when they were planning when they was trying to squeeze us out of the remap, and all of the remap meetings and census meetings were happening at the Urban League, but no black people were there? Same situation. So let's open up the phone lines. Give us a call. 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. You might not live in Woodlawn. So what you going to do when they take the abandoned school in your neighborhood and turn it into a migrant shelter? And what should we be doing about it? Now, is that something that we support? It does repurpose those schools. Give us a call. 872-259-7474. Reach you on the line. Open up the phone calls. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller?
Yeah.
Jake! Hold it. This is Jacob Israel calling us all the way from H-Town, from Houston, doing this thing. Jake, how you feeling this morning? I had to get your disclaimer up. What's up, Jake?
Everything good. Great show yesterday, man. And shout out to that 18-year-old man from Arkansas, man. That was phenomenal.
You was checking us out yesterday, Jake? I figured you was out somewhere doing. I figured you was out doing some community service, man. Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that, man.
Nah. Yeah. I mean, I mess with the King Day like that, but I don't celebrate no. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can't give me a day and then. You know what I mean? I appreciate them though. Let me tell you, I appreciate them. Because this is what happened to King. When King said, we as a people, he wasn't talking about everybody. He said, we as a people shall get to the promised land. He was talking about us. In less than 24 hours, they killed him. And he said that, it was over. It was a wrap for him. You know what I mean? Because he was trying to tell the world who we are. But, yeah, while the immigrants, migrants, they here all the time. Juarez and Mexico is right there. You know what I mean? They walk across the border all the time. But difference is in Chicago, the Mexicans is not going to be messing with them. They're not, but even though a lot of them come from a part of the world that, you know what I mean, they're about that. They're about it too. But, hey, Chi-Town wouldn't blow so cold, baby. And it was 50 degrees yesterday. Yeah, but it's going to get some cold. You know what I mean? And they gotta go through the neighborhoods just like everybody else. And once it's just gonna be chaos, bro. It's just like when they tore down all the buildings and spreading them across. It's gonna be, this summer, I don't even know, bro. It's gonna be really, really crazy in the city. Because I don't care what, bro. You know how we get down, bro. You know how we get down. Not only us, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Polish, the Italians. It doesn't. Where they gonna go? They gotta come outside, and if they gotta they lose machetes and all that shit, it's just not gonna work. And I'm gonna get off the phone. I know you got guests coming, but in the Kings, that's Boston. You know what it is in Boston? They can't stand us. I don't know who gave them the license or who did that as a tribute. What do that have to do with anything? It just don't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. All right, man. Shalom, Mikey.
Jake, that's my man Jacob Israel calling all the way from Houston. Hey, I am going to tell you like this, though, bro. And I think if you look at the origins of any street organizations, they generally start out as clubs to protect certain groups when they move into a neighborhood. Right? So at first it started out like you can't walk to school by yourself. So all of y'all mob up and go to school. Right? Then after the next step, then y'all form a little club. Y'all get your little sign. You get your little symbol. Right? Then you got something that allows me to identify you as us as compared to them. And the next thing you know, you got MS-13, you got the conservatives, you got the travelers, you got all of these different. And if we look at the origins of street organizations, they are generally created because someone moves into a neighborhood and the neighborhood is hostile. It's homogenous and then it opens up. And I do think that when the kids come out to play in the summertime, Riis, you know already, the guys be like, hey, where you from? Who you know from around here? Don't have no fresh gym shoes on. Don't have no fresh, because then those kids initially start out as prey, but then they move to protection. Because the daddy going to come out and say it ain't going to happen. And so I just want us to be prepared for the clash of neighborhoods that is about to happen. We could play stupid if we want to, but be clear, there is going to be some friction, right? When people start to, what happened when the kids come outside and they want to stand on the corner? Hey, man, this our block. We need to get a tax. We ain't paying no Anyway, tell me, black people, give us a call, 872-259-7474. What are your thoughts on the migrants being placed in black neighborhoods? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
LD greetings, Mama D here.
Hey, Mama D, I saw you yesterday looking fresh, and I got your Dr. King thing that you wrote the night of. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I still got it. How you feeling this morning, Mama D?
I'm feeling disgusted by that disgusting statue. I don't know what that was, but it was an insult to me. It ought to be marched on and taken down. If they can snatch down the Columbus statue, they need to snatch that one down before it goes up good. It should have been snatched down yesterday. I want to march against it. It's insulting.
It's an embrace, Mama D. Didn't you see the right? You're not looking at it from the right angle.
It's a butthole. It's a butthole. It's a kiss my ass.
Oh, dang, I ain't even see that one.
But let's move
dang,
on.
I've seen so many different ones. Go ahead, Mama D.
Let's move on. I'm sick of these sanctuary settlers and sanctuary seekers being put above the law, and we still being treated beneath the law. And that so-called DACA, delayed action for childhood arrivals, you are talking about under the age of 31. They are not childhood. They are not minors. But that whole DACA should not be coming before 400 years of delayed action for in-chain arrivals. Take care of that black DACA. And it is about reparations and dropping these people in our community. We don't speak their language. They don't speak our language. Why are they dropped in where their own people are? It makes no sense. And why is it that can't anybody listen to the community? They can't listen to the alderman. We're going to do it anyway. And that is it's ridiculous that we continue to make these apologetic. Well, you know, we want everybody to come to America. Well, speak for yourself. Everybody should come with a passport, like Barbara Jordan said. Immigration would hurt black people. People need to read her statement. She was over the immigration department under Bill Clinton. Read what she had to say. It's right on target. They are competing for low-skilled jobs. They convinced us, well, they taking jobs we don't want. We never did peaches and pecans in Chicago. So they took those jobs that we had in the hotels and in the restaurants and now in the grocery store, and they gonna make America Mexico again. Well, when was the Mexico America in the first place? But this is the sign that I saw up, and we better to do more than wake up. We better get these foreigners out of. I'm not apologizing. Oh, well, the Statue of Liberty is a statue. And all that Statue of Liberty and the Constitution and everything else that leapfrogs over us who haven't been treated for that untreated hard mind damage that they talked about in the in the Brown versus Board of Education, which said 88 years of segregation existed only to keep the status of the Negro down, not everybody. So why is it that we have to have this sympathetic, we want everybody to come over here. We want Are you kidding? When Dr. King was saying 100 years later, he was talking about 1863 to 1963. Well, what about that 246 years that was added on to that 100 years that he didn't even mention? And we have got to stop this everybody stuff. Everybody didn't come and change. They came through no fault of their own. They came through the fault of their parents who broke into this country, and they are being rewarded with laws that put them above the law while we are still beneath the law. No, march on those families every day until they get out of our community and be moved into the community that speak the Spanish, because we know they don't speak the English.
All right. Thank you, Mama D. I appreciate your call. Give us a call, 872-259-74. Callers, I got to take your calls really quickly, and then we're going to, we got guests out in the studio. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show.
Caller? Yo, what's good, bro? What's good? What's going on, family?
What up, Devin, president of What's in It for the Black People First? How you feeling, dog? You got to go quick because I got guests out there.
Hey, real quick. I agree with Mama D. We can count and we can read. The community has not been listened to. Everybody got to read Fire on the Prairie. That way you'll know how these sanctuary laws were created by the brother Harold Washington. Do your research. I'm going to land the plane. Let's hit a guest. But we need to circle back on this because it ain't right. And it just ain't right. So I'll land my plane there. Peace, bro.
All right, all right, y'all. I got one more call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from? Hey.
Hey, this is Andre Smith.
What's up, Dre? Vice President of What's in It for the Black People First, Andre Smith, also candidate for 20th Ward Alderman. What's up, Femo?
Okay, real quick. In regards to Wadsworth School, Thursday we had a meeting, and I asked the commissioner, who did you talk to in regards to the migrants moving in Wadsworth? She spoke, the commissioner said she spoke to the alderman during the summertime. They talked about it during the summertime. They made her aware and things of that nature. So, real quick, to sum everything up, the aldermen of the 20th Ward have been lying to the residents, and also the residents of the city of Chicago, talking about she didn't know, she wasn't aware of, but we'll talk about that more because I know you don't have that much time.
Awesome. All right. Well, let me tell you what. I appreciate you, Dre. We're going to have a conversation about this. I know that they talk about it down the station, but I want to talk to the alderman. I want to take to all the people that are involved in this. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. When we come back, we got to talk. It's a big deal tomorrow. 6:30 in the morning. Wake up. Because it's time to apply. It's that time of year again. It's time, if your child goes to a private institution, it is now time for you to sign up for the Empower Illinois Scholarship. And we got to talk about why is it every year it's under duress. So many people sign up for it, but they always talking about the fact that it's going to go out of style because nobody wants to support the people who have their kids in other schools. Well, we need to make sure that we are pushing this scholarship because we benefited from it too. And I can't wait to talk to my next guest or guests. Because y'all, check it out. You know my girl, Anita Andrews Hutchinson. I want to tell y'all, she runs Village Leadership Academy. Those are the young black students that are ready to take on the next generation of black empowerment. And we got to make sure that we support institutions like that. So get ready. We're going to be talking to Empower Illinois when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Do you want to send your child to the best fit private school but don't have the financial resources? Apply for the Illinois Tax Credit Scholarship Program. It has provided over 37,000 scholarships worth $300 million. The application opens online Wednesday, January 18th at 6:30 p.m. and submissions begin at 7 p.m. Scholarships are first come, first served for families who qualify, so apply as soon as possible. For more information, call 1-800-616-7606 or visit www.empowerillinois.org. Empowering families, empowering communities, empower Illinois.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things, what you're doing. And in my head I paint a picture. Well, since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why come on? Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess.
We've been playing these songs since the pandemic, but it's all good. I'm gonna spend some time, give me some licensed music.
Nice.
Why don't you come on over back? Dang, Nate, you gonna get you a concert? We can get you a feature, man. Have you come perform at Obsidian? All right, y'all ready?
Yes.
Anything that you want specific? I got the basic questions, then I'll throw it off. Then Nate, when do you think is the best time for you to enter the conversation?
Anytime.
Okay, so Juan, I'll let you hand it off when you're ready. Okay.
And he has.
We already did this one. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the rule in the building, y'all. He made it. He made it. He ain't even text me and say I'm on the way. He just, you know how you be like, I don't even want no problems. So I'm like, I don't even want to hear his mouth. I don't want no text. I don't want nothing. I'm going to just show up. I'm going to come in. I'm going to say today. Because I was waiting. I was all nervous. I was poised to go run downstairs. I was pushing buttons in the studio. And then, Riis going to come in with he came in with the guests. You know when you about to get a whooping? And you be trying to get your friends to come home with you so you can stretch it out. And you be like, hold on. Riis like, ain't nobody whooping me around this mud. But I am going to tell you, I was feeling the kind of way. And I was getting ready to go downstairs to open the door because I was going to prop it open and say, just come on up. And then I look out the door and there comes Riis with one of mine. I can't lie to y'all and tell y'all whenever she walks in the room that I don't feel, I just get warm on the inside because I think about how we were standing in the cold throwing snowballs at the president of the University of Illinois. That's right. It's Miss Anita Andrews Hutchinson, who is here to my right. You all may remember her from Village Leadership Academy. They are what I call one of our freedom fighter schools, where we are going to have young Black people who are prepared to enter the field of battle for us. I think a lot of times when we see these people that are on TV, I think of people like Stacey Abrams and we all get all caught up and we be like, oh my God, and you think it's all organic. No, it's not organic. There are people that have been pouring into them from the time that they were 0 years old, making sure that they are prepared and ready to go into this fight. And so it's really funny to me because oftentimes when we talk about private schools and we talk about school choice, we never really talk about Black folks. And we never really talk about empowering ourselves. But before I get to my dear friend Anita Hutchinson, who we go all the way, I don't want to age us, but back to 1989 at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, I also got to tell you that sitting to my left, to your right, is Juan Rangel. I got to do the Juan. I know that ain't the way it's supposed to roll, but I feel like if you get a little gargle in it, it'll work.
That's actually pretty good.
Juan Rangel, who many of you all, I talk about this all the time. I don't deny my friends. Juan is the inspiration for what's in it for the Black people. I know you're going to laugh. I know you're going to be like, man, if you don't get your butt up out of here. But it was after joining the Metropolitan Leadership Institute, when I looked around, because y'all know the story, but when I looked around, my goal was to create a platform, a leadership platform for Black people, because that is where I learned about self-interest. So I'm always happy to talk to my good friend, Juan Rangel, who is also, every time I got a radio show, you like one of the very first people. When we was doing Talk It Out, Maze Monique, you was the first show, you was there. So I'm happy to have you. And then we got my man Nate in the building that he's going to pop in a minute, but he's chilling out right now. So let me stop right now. And also we were having a conversation this morning about advertising, right? And next to Dr. Wilson, you know who the first person to call What's in it for the Black People Media for advertising was? Not none of the people not none of the Black people that we help every single day, not any of the people that have ever been in trouble. You know who the first person who called me and said, Maze, I love what you're doing. We want to support the platform. And if I wouldn't have got COVID last year, it would have been a 5-year streak. My man, Juan Rangel. So Juan, Anita, welcome back to the Maze Jackson Show. I think, Juan, you've been here. Have you been here?
No, it's my
okay,
first
so
time.
we used to be hallmates. So I used to see you in the hall, be like, Anita! Anyway, we are here today to talk to you about Empower Illinois, because it's a big deadline coming up tomorrow. So why don't I start with, back up. I'm going to introduce my sister real quick. Anita, say what's up to everybody. Let them know a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, everybody.
Amen.
Oh, thank you so much, Maze, for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence, to experience your energy in full volume. Because
I'm loud in the mud.
You sure are. And my name is Anita Andrews Hutchinson. I'm one of the co-founders of Village Leadership Academy. It is a social justice elementary school that serves children from kindergarten through 8th grade. We emphasize high achievement, leadership development, and encouraging young people to develop leadership skills right now as they are young people. And we do that through community work, and we do that through world exploration as well.
Now, I do want to point out one big thing that I think all of us may have some gravity on it, which is Douglas Park. Just tell us a little bit about that. Just give me a touch of that, because Douglas Park, we from out west. Well, I'm from out west now. I'm Bolingbrook South, out west. I'm out west now. But Douglas Park, I used to always think it was Frederick Douglass Park.
It was not.
It was not Frederick Douglass Park. Who Douglas was it, and what happened? And talk to me about what your young leaders did to make a change, because, before it was the DuSable change, there was some other stuff happening. They kicked it off. Before it was Emmett Till, before it was, what's the expressway we call it now?
The
Ida B. Wells.
The Ida B. Wells?
Yes.
It was the people fighting for Douglas Park. Talk to me, sis.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So one of the critical core things that we do in the school is for young people to know that they can be change makers right now. And so from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade, the children in their classrooms, they choose a topic of focus, and then they decide how they want to make change. So this particular year is when we had a fifth grade class, and a young bunch of the classroom was filled with with mostly black boys, and they were seeing all these murders happening of black men, and they wanted to do something. They saw children in Chicago being murdered by police officers, so they wanted to do something, and that something was to honor them by changing the name of a park. And they soon found out that you can't just name it after any person; it has to be named after a person of notoriety. And so they stumbled on Douglas Park. And they were like, oh, this is named after Stephen Douglas, a slave trader, a slave and sympathizer. And so they're like, well, all we have to do is add an S, and it'll be named after Frederick Douglass. So they continued to do their research. They decided they wanted to include his first wife, Anna Douglas, in the renaming of the park. And they circulated and achieved 10,000 petitions. They presented it for 3 years straight. And so by the time they're 8th grade, they actually got a call saying that they were, after the Columbus was torn down, the statue was torn down, they got a call saying, hey, we actually want to take up your petition to change the name of Douglas Park. And so they presented one more time, and then they got a unanimous vote to change the name from Stephen Douglas Park to Frederick Douglass Park. And this is the first time in history in the city of Chicago where that a park was renamed after one historic figure to another.
Shout out to our young people doing their thing right now. Riis, give them a big round of applause. All right. That is what a social justice school does for us, and that's why this is important. Let's go to my man, Juan Rangel. Juan, talk to me about Empower Illinois. What exactly is Empower Illinois, and why is it so important?
Well, Empower Illinois is an organization that was created about 6 years ago as a scholarship granting organization. And the purpose of the organization is to provide scholarships for kids, low-income kids across the state of Illinois, to be able to attend a school that best fits their needs, and in this case, private schools. So most of the private schools are Catholic schools. We think of Catholic schools when we think private schools, but
shout out to Holy Trinity. I got my email.
Very good.
Go Tigers.
But we work with all sorts of private schools, not just Catholic schools, Jewish schools, Muslim schools, and even non-faith organizations. Anita Schools, Village Leadership Academy. I'm very proud of the fact that they're one of our partners. And they do an amazing job, and I'm glad you pointed out the Douglas Park initiative, because that shows what's the potential of great schools in our communities, and so what we do is we provide scholarships, and they're based on a law that was passed. We were to get passed in Springfield that allows, let's say you may want to make a contribution to Empower Illinois, and your contribution becomes scholarships for kids to be able to attend private schools, and you, in turn, get a 75% tax credit from the state of Illinois.
Hey!
So you get 75% of your money back. So it's very good. It's a great incentive for donors, not just the big, rich donors, but everyday individuals that pay their taxes, they can certainly make their money have an impact locally.
So let's back up. So Juan, Anita, I feel like every year, now it's great for advertising. I just want to be clear. It's great for advertising. But it seems like every year we hear all of these great stories about the scholarship program and all of the wonderful people. And you know, when Q call up and say it's the best school in Chicago, right? Then that makes us, when Marquette McDonald say that, then I start to say things. But why is it that you always seem to have to come back every year to fight for something that we know has had positive, tangible outcomes for our kids? Now, I'll come to you, Anita, because you know me. I care about our kids. You can have Juan built 10 schools, so he done been taking care of his people. But I also want to understand, why is it, Juan, that we have to keep going back to the Illinois General Assembly to try and get this scholarship reapproved when we know the positive outcomes?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, unfortunately, that's just the politics in Illinois and across the country. And Nathan a little later can speak to polling that has been done, the great support that exists for this program across the board, and certainly in our communities, black and brown. But there are factions, unfortunately. There are special interests out there that are not supportive of this program. For some reason, they think that we're supportive of private schools, that we're against public schools. Well, I'll tell you, Mays, I cut my teeth supporting public schools many, many years ago. The schools that I helped build were actually public schools, but they have to be charter schools. And anything that smacks of an alternative for families, there are folks that are deadly opposed to it. And so it's a constant fight and constant battle. But I'll tell you, when we see the kids, when we see the success of the program, tens of thousands of kids benefiting from this program in our communities, no less.
You say tens of thousands. Let me interrupt you there. Give me a number. Give me a rough number of how many people are impacted by this scholarship program.
Well, I'll tell you, in the short time that the program has been around, certainly over 30,000 kids have benefited from the program. And we would hope to be able to continue raising more and more money for it. So it's a great program, and the demand is there. There are not enough dollars and not enough scholarships to go around for the number of applicants that we get every single year.
So let's back up, because tomorrow is 6:30, right? When the application process opens. Now, usually I'm on the air, and so I plan to go sign up when I get off the air. But by the time I get off the air, it's all gone. Help me understand, and how much of this money is state of Illinois money? How much does the state contribute to this?
Well, not 1 cent is the state of Illinois money. These are private donors. They give their money, and it's incentivized by the tax credit. But no different than, let's say, the movie industry, who gets tax credits to be able to provide jobs.
Hold on. So this don't cost the state any money. This is independent people putting their money in to help educate our children.
The taxes they were going to pay.
The taxes that they were already going to pay. Tell me, okay, you said it's factions. I don't understand. This makes me think of the Willie Wilson moment when he said, "I'm tired of white people telling me what to do with my money."
He and I both.
So these are independent people, small, medium, and large. It's not just the wealthy people. Right. It is even me if I got a middle class existence and I want to contribute to the educational process. And I was just reading something today. And I don't want to be in no problem, but I saw that 80% of CPS students read under grade level. That, my friends, is why you hear me saying, "Go Tigers." It is not that I have any less love for CPS or public schools or anything like that. But when given an opportunity to do better for my child, or at least in the area that he lives, we've exercised that option. Why is there opposition to that?
Well, I'll tell you, for starters, when this program was first created, it was part of a negotiation between the public school folks and the private school folks. So the public schools actually won tremendously with the creation of the Invest in Kids Act, which was where the scholarship program comes from. So every year there's an increase in public school funding, which we applaud. I think the schools ought to be funded appropriately. But there's nothing wrong with providing options for families, right? Certainly in our communities, and there are wonderful institutions like Village Leadership Academy that ought to thrive. We ought to have more of those schools, not less. And the need is there. You mentioned in terms of the grade levels where kids are reading at or doing math, and certainly there's room for improvement there. But if we have great institutions like Village Leadership Academy or other schools, why not support those? And the last thing we need, I don't think anybody likes closing schools, but you know what happens when some of these private schools don't have the support, they end up closing, and we end up with closed buildings, abandoned buildings in our neighborhoods, and that's not good for anyone.
As we just got through discussing a few minutes ago why it's not good for our neighborhoods. Let me back up. Anita, talk to me about how many young people currently attend Village Leadership, and then I want to get a sense of kind of how many of our young freedom fighters have you put on the field?
Yes, absolutely. So our annual enrollment is around 200 students. And I am so excited to share that at this point this year, every year, starting this year, we will have one of our children who will graduate from college. We've been in this game for so long that, from the babies that start with us in our preschools through the ones that go through us through VLA, Village Leadership Academy, they don't go off to high school. Now they're in college and getting ready to graduate. And then some of them are coming back to be educators back at our school.
That's so dope.
So it's amazing to see this kind of come full circle, to be an institution for our community that our community can rely on. And for over the course of the years, we have served, I would say in the thousands of children.
That was true. If you're doing 200, I can see that easily. I can definitely see that easy. So, Anita, talk to me, because it seems to me that whenever there's an opportunity to showcase your young people, it seems like there is no shortage of people ready to take a picture. It seems like there is no shortage of people who are ready to put their arms around these young people and say, hey, look what we did. But then it seems like once y'all get away from the cameras, it turns back into a fight. Am I missing this, or what's going on?
Support is a challenge. We are very thankful that Empower Illinois has been supportive of us over the last 5 years since the Invest in Kids Act. We've actually been able to give about 88 scholarships, but we need about double that. And the challenge is fundraising. We don't, as a community, understand the program and how to benefit from it.
Trust! I understand that. I understand fundraising in our community.
Right, and so we have to invest in ourselves. And so it's really challenging for people outside of our community to want to give to VLA, right? And so Empower Illinois has been instrumental in finding resources and people who want to give to us. But that's where our struggle has been, is how can we get more of our community, people middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class, high end, how do we give to each of these young people? How do we provide our own scholarships?
So I got a question, and then Juan, we're going to bring Nate in a hot second. So there's the component of doling out the scholarships, which Empower Illinois does. Talk to me about the contribution component. So again, I'll tell you that if you make the ask, I don't know how big but a lot of our people, if they know where and how to do it, there's nobody that doesn't want to see our kids do better. Talk to me about how does a person contribute to this?
Sure, it's not necessarily an easy process, unfortunately, but we try to make it as easy as possible. If you go to our website, empowerillinois.org, we can walk you through it, or you can call our office, and we'll have folks that can help you through it. But basically, it's a process by which you apply with the state Department of Revenue. They send you a letter, and then you could make your contribution online. You will be able, a year later, or whenever the taxes are due, in this case from last year in April, You could fill in your tax forms and you'll get your money back, 75% of that.
Amen. So y'all know these people doing these tax returns. Make sure you get that on your papers.
Absolutely, and we would ask them to let folks know that they could actually apply for this program as well. Anita was pointing out in terms of the fundraising challenges, and I think our challenges on getting this program renewed, and it's up for a sunset, and this program is set to expire this year unless we get the renewal. One of our challenges is the political side, and there are opponents in the General Assembly, hard opponents, that get support from a lot of those other organizations that don't like this program. But I will say that we are blessed by having great supporters, especially in the Black Caucus. Folks like Curtis Tarver, Representative Curtis Tarver, Representative Leader Marcus Evans, LaShawn Ford, Rita Mayfield. I can go on and on. There's great support within the Black Caucus, as well as others in the Latino Caucus and others. But we need them all. I think it's important that they understand that this is a program worth saving. It's a program worth investing in. And certainly when you have the kind of impact like Village Leadership Academy in our communities, it's a program worth making permanent.
All right. Well, let me tell you what. I can say I think we really definitely do need to make the program permanent. The reality is, guys, there are limited fundraising sources for particularly our schools. You know, I talk about us being able, we are the only people that send our children to the enemy to be educated. And so here we have sitting in front of us a group that is putting out young freedom fighters, like real talk, like real talk. And when you look at the Village Leadership program and the things that they bring to their young people, I think it's something that's worthwhile. Now, is it possible for us to dedicate, like when I go in and say, I want my money to go to Village Leadership?
Yes, individuals could say, designate your funding to go to specific schools like I did. I give to my parish, St. Agnes of Bohemia, and Little Village.
Little Belita.
Corporations cannot designate, but I'll tell you, most of our money does come from individuals. So yes.
All right, so Juan, I am going to tell you thank you for coming. And then I see you got a brother here with you, man. And usually the guy that sits in the back that ain't doing a lot of the talking is usually the big Willie. So we're going to figure this part of it out. And Juan, I'm going to tell you thank you, my brother. I appreciate you being here, and we got to keep on building this relationship. There's a lot of other things. Now, I'm not going to mix the metaphors today because you're here on a different mission. So, but y'all, we're going to be talking to Juan about some other stuff too in the very near future, because our city has some real issues, and I think that after this next election cycle, we're all going to be very involved in the repair of it. So, Juan, I'm going to ask you to step on now, and I'm going to ask to get Nate in the meantime. All right, in the meantime, while you two are swapping out, yes. Anita.
Yes, Maze.
What is the next thing on the horizon for Village Leadership Academy? And are you all going to be expanding anytime soon?
We hope to. Our dream is to expand to high school. So I did see someone was wondering where we are located. We are located in the River City Building, 800 South Wells Street, in Chicago, in the South Loop. And we want to go to high school. And so that's what we're working on now. That's our next big thing, there's a gap between, we want to have a whole pathway. So starting from infancy at birth, going
So what time do y'all start? Y'all say at birth. So what's the earliest?
6 weeks.
6 weeks? Who got time to be dealing with somebody's 6-week-old baby?
Hey, we do.
People got to go to work.
That's right. They need a safe place and a loving environment for them to drop off their babies at. So we start at 6 weeks old.
Do you teach them Swahili while they're just
No, not Swahili. We just teaching them, how to talk.
That's important. All right, now sitting back in the studio, we done swapped Juan out, and now I have this gentleman who was singing Valerie in the building. But Nathan Hoffman. Nate, now tell me what exactly you do, brother.
So I work for a national organization that partners with Empower Illinois, that partners with schools like VLA. We're on the legislative side of things. So we push legislation, not only here in Illinois, but all across the country. I've passed laws in 7 different states: literacy, school choice, college and career, all the above.
Talk to me, Nate. So why is school choice such... Okay. What I know is that black people, and I know y'all got to be politically correct, but here I care about the black kids. What I find is that black parents that are involved in their children's lives will go through hell and high water to get them the best opportunity for the best education. Why does that seem to be such an issue? And why do we always seem to be positioned in the front of it as if we don't want the best education for our children?
Yeah. Well, there is you hit it on the head. There's a myth in this country that black families, that poor families don't care about the education of their kids. That couldn't be farther from the truth, and you can see that every single day. Wait till a kid gets in trouble at school, and who's the first person showing up at the school making sure their kid hasn't been mistreated? It's the black moms that are showing up to these schools. So why we need school choice is because the only kids in this country that don't have school choice are poor families, who are most often than not minority families in this country. And I find it very interesting that the people who are most opposed to these programs use school choice for their own families. There's an organization in this city that's funded by some of the opposition to this program. Their leader sends their kids to a private school and then gets to send another one of their kids to Chicago Jones, which is not only one of the best schools in this city, but one of the best schools in this country that you have to test into. And every day she fights to make sure that kids in our community don't have those same type of opportunities.
You know I want some names, but I'm not going to get you. I ain't going to get you dramatic right now, but I do want some names. So talk to me about that, though. It seems as though I always talk about black folks, our pain and suffering being the political capital that other people utilize to advance their causes. Why would anybody be opposed to parents having the choice to put their kids in school? Because look, my boy was at St. Rita. Every cop in the world put their kid at St. Rita, right? If you go to Mount Greenwood, if you go to Beverly, none of the kids from Beverly go to the schools in Beverly unless it's from their parish, etc. Why is it such a stigma for us?
I don't know the answer to that. I'd love to know. So if somebody finds out, let me know. But I mean, you can maybe be logical here and think about it this way: is that the school system, the public school system, is a moneymaker for a lot of people.
That's what
Wait a minute. What do you mean it's a moneymaker? It's public school. How can it be a moneymaker? How is it a moneymaker?
There are a ton of adults, a ton of college-educated, pension-earning adults in this city and across this country who make their living on the public school system. And there's this misnomer out there that if you are allowing black families, if you're allowing poor families to choose a different school that might not be the public school, then those people might be out of a job. Never mind the fact that that's never happened anywhere across the country. Public school funding in this state has only increased to the tune of, I think, $1.5 billion since the Invest in Kids Act came online. But there is this fear, unfounded fear, that if you let poor families choose a different school other than the one in their neighborhood, that not only will they not choose that school, which should tell you something about the quality of the school in their neighborhood, but that money will be taken away.
Let me ask you a question, and I'm going to put this to both of you all. What is the difference between school choice and selective enrollment?
It's all school choice.
It's all, yeah. So school choice, I think, is in the power of the parent, where they decide what school is a best fit for their child. Selective enrollment is like you hope you get chosen. Went through the application process. You have to go through a series of hoops in order to be eligible, and then you may or may not get selected by the school to be a part of that institution. Whereas, schools that are private, and, education isn't a one or another. It's all education avenues, venues are important for the ecosystem. So we need public schools to be healthy and thriving, but we also need alternative schools. So private schools like Village Leadership Academy and many others. I went to a Catholic school. It's Catholic schools my whole life,
What Catholic school you went to? You don't want to say?
St. Ignatius.
Oh, Lord. You needed a scholarship for that. Jesus Christ, they thought I would. No,
I went to St. Ignatius Grammar School on the north side of Chicago in Rogers Park, and that was his parish school.
Okay.
And then I went to St. Ignatius College Prep. So I've been an Iggy for my whole life.
I knew something was going on with you. You know them St. Ignatius people. That's the school where they play the orchestra when the kids come. Right? Look, I'm telling you, no, my son came in there. Y'all know they got an orchestra for school enrollment. They got wood. Let me tell you, if you ever go to St. Ignatius, you go into that joint and it's like they have like the old school wood floor. Like it is classic. But I think about...
Why can't we have schools like that for us?
Right.
Why can't we? I mean, we are as deserving as to have the highest quality education for our children as anybody else.
So it's funny because I think we're expected oftentimes to sacrifice our children for the good of the quote-unquote community. And it's not necessarily the good of the community. It goes to those people that you talk about. Okay, so this is what I am, my question, and I don't really want to turn it into a beef. But I'm trying to get a grasp on Chicago Teachers Union from the standpoint of not CPS teachers, but the union. Who is their priority? Because it seems like it's the students, but realistically, if the constituency of CTU is the teachers, not the students, if I'm correct, or do I have that incorrect? And then if I'm making policy decisions, am I making policy decisions that are best for the students, or am I making policy decisions that are best for my members that then I transfer to my students?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have no problem being controversial, and I'm blocked on Twitter by the CTU, so it doesn't matter to me. Don't
get me blocked. Look, they be around here beating on people and jumping up on people, and then they'll make you pay a price. So I might have to hit you up. But no, talk to me. Help me understand this.
No, I mean, teacher unions in general, they have one job. It's to protect their members who, again, are pension-earning, salary-earning, college-educated adults. If students get to benefit, it's a secondary benefit. But what I can tell you over the last couple of years with the pandemic and all of that, they kept schools closed for more than a year. You had Janice Jackson, a black woman. You had LaTanya McDade, a black woman. You had the mayor, and I don't like to...
Cole, I'll leave that up to you. I don't even get it.
But anyways, you had 3 black women at the time who were heading up Chicago public schools who said, we need to get kids back in school because we're hurting our community. We're hurting the kids in our community. And at the time, you had Jesse Sharkey, who's a white guy who was heading up Chicago Teachers Union, who was saying, no, we have to stay out of school. And they kept kids out of school to protect the majority of their members who are white, college-educated, pension-earning adults. That doesn't help kids.
So, wait a minute. So in my mind, the teachers. So maybe I need to change up my because I remember like Marilyn Stewart, and I remember back in the day when like CTU and the city kind of worked together, right? And they were allies. Mm-hmm. How did we go from allies to opposition? And in that process, it seems like we lost a lot of black teachers. Mm-hmm. And so oftentimes I feel like, when we're having these conversations and we're talking about public schools, I am talking about fighting for black teachers in these schools when that may not necessarily be the case. Are a majority of our black children being taught by black teachers?
I mean, I haven't looked at the data in a while, but I would say no if you look at the membership of the Chicago Teachers Union.
Oh, you trying to start something today, I see. So, let me ask a question. How important is it for black children in their development to see black teachers, black men, black women, black teachers, but then even particularly black men? I was going to say, I've never in my entire life had a black male teacher. Ever. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, never. Not even a black... Oh, I had Mr. Mitchum, the gym teacher. Okay, right. We got it. Okay, don't forget tomorrow. The Empower Illinois deadline is tomorrow. Scholarship opens at 6:30 p.m.?
Yes.
Why did I think... Oh, I can make it. All right, it's 6:30 p.m. Now set your alarms, right?
Yes.
You got... Look, set a reminder. Get on it. Get ready, because tomorrow at 6:30 p.m., The Empower Illinois Scholarship is available. Now, where do I go to find it?
EmpowerIllinois.org.
Oh, see how they kept it super simple for you? EmpowerIllinois.org. You want to apply for one of the scholarships, EmpowerIllinois.org tomorrow. That's Wednesday, January 18th at 6:30 p.m. The 2024 Tax Credit Scholarship opens. Now, I'm just telling you, by 6:37, the joint going to be done. They're going to be like, sorry. I promise you, I'll be like, hold on, you know how you set your alarm and it'll be like, ding, ding, ding. I get it in a second. You be like, okay, I'm going to get it. And then you come back and you be like, let me put my stuff in there. It'll be like, sorry, fam, it's over.
Yep, it'll go just like that.
Talk to me about the value of a scholarship. How much?
Well, the scholarship is tied directly to the public school, basically the per pupil average that the public school students get. So a student who qualifies for 100% scholarship can get up to, I think this year it's like $16,000. So
dang, that's my tuition. I need that.
Yeah.
Now, is there an income requirement for this?
There is, yeah. So the entire program's means tested. You got to meet the income requirements. So up to, I believe it's 300% of the federal poverty guidelines to qualify.
How much you say?
300%. For a family of four, it's I don't know what the math is there, but
I don't think we're gonna make it.
But
we might be contributing. But let me tell you what we are gonna do. We are gonna contribute to it. The Jacksons will support. We don't want to take anything away from anybody. We have been blessed with the ability, but we do think that it's important to support our young people in this space. I guess my question for both of you all is, if you could tell our audience why this is so important, why they should reach out to their legislators, what it means to us in our community, right? Because I think we often have our story told through the vantage point of someone who may not have our best interest. Anita, I'm going to give you the opportunity to give a testimony, and then Nate, I'm going to let you just go ahead and throw some gas on the fire, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Anita, though, because I do think that you have to be one of the best. When you meet people, we used to read these books in high school, Nia, If Not Now, and it was like,
yes.
My education in blackness came at the University of Illinois. And I think that experience is what has driven me to where I am now in this fight for freedom. Talk to me about how you got your mission. Mm-hmm. And then what you're doing to pour into these young people. And then don't forget to remind them about the scholarship. And
absolutely. Well, that was, so your awakening was the same time as mine. And so what we gained, what elevated us as young people, young college students, is the same thing we wanted to infuse in our school. And so coupled with the excellence in education that I got from Ignatius and the excellence in education that my business partner got from her education institution, which was a public school, we wanted to infuse excellence and culture into an environment that was safe for young black people to grow and thrive. And so that was, that's been the burning mission, that every child comes to our school, they feel loved, they're challenged, and they feel empowered. And we believe that all children deserve that. And so when we were fighting for this bill to get passed years ago, we were challenging legislators to say, we have children right now that are not doing well in the environments that they're in, but they will do well with us. Support them, support us, give us an opportunity to educate and love our own kids. And so we got the bill passed. And so that's what we're fighting for now, is that this sunset does not come, that it extends, that we continue.
Now, who keep putting the sunset on this joint? Who is it?
Well, it's the same sunset that existed before.
Well, who keep doing it? Who keep renewing it? All right, we're going to have to name some names. I'm not going to get y'all in trouble because I know we got to go down there and lobby. However, I do think that there's going to be a point when we got to figure out who are our allies and who are our enemies in the fight to educate our children. What we do know is if Anita Hutchinson is with it, then it's helping us.
Absolutely.
I could vouch for that, no question. Because when you ask what's in it for the black people, this one right here, since knee-high to a grasshopper when we was throwing snowballs at President Stanley Eikenberry at the University of Illinois.
Like, you keep saying that publicly.
Hey man, people gotta know you got street cred. We got street cred in these. We've been out in these streets since 1990, fighting for the peoples. All right, now Nate, put your gas up. Nate, talk to me about the importance of school choice. Talk to me a little bit about what you do. And then talk to me about the long-term mission. Oh, I took your notes. Talk to me about the long-term mission and what you, if you had your druthers with the work that you're doing, what would be your ultimate outcome?
Well, here's what I'm most concerned about. It's two things. The first is the issue of school choice because, like I said at the beginning, the only families that don't have access to school choice in this country are poor families, which more often than not are families in our community. And those families deserve the same opportunity as every other family in this country to pursue a quality education. That's what I'm most focused on. So if every kid in this country can choose a school that's going to work best for them, where they're not bullied, where they have access to different, you mentioned at St. Ignatius the orchestra or whatever that plays. So.
My son was like, oh no.
Yeah.
That's too much. The Golden Eagles, like you walked in, it was Golden Eagles. They had an orchestra with like violins and cellos. We were like, what? What is that? Anyway, I'm sorry.
So yeah, no, every kid that wants to pursue that and take part in that should be able to do that. So school choice is important. But the other issue which you brought up earlier, which is literacy, and we've talked about this in the past. You said 20% of kids in CPS are functionally illiterate. They're not reading on grade level. It's 10% in our community. 90% in our community. 90% of kids in our community living in the city of Chicago that attend Chicago public schools are functionally illiterate. They're not reading on grade level.
How is that possible?
That's a great question.
Okay, this is me. Like, I know we talk about standardized testing and being biased and all of those things, and I'm sure you're aware of that, but, like, the ability to read and write, like, competently is really the opportunity to escape. Now, I don't want to say escape. Is the opportunity to better yourselves. I was thinking about, I get a lot of letters written about me, but one of my good Jewish friends used to always say to me, Maze, we have pushed our children to be educated because our education, no matter what they do, they cannot take that away from us. And I just feel like the education component may be being slowly but surely taken away from our children, which then makes them easily disposable, which makes them easily incarceratable, and then does not give us the resources to keep building and pushing our community forward when we know we're under full onslaught. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to have about 50 letters, right? I'm going to be probably cut off from Springfield again, right? It's going to be people calling. It's like them people going to be sharing the broadcast. So if you ever need a lobbyist in Springfield or a public affairs person, let me know, because I'm just telling you, they're going to make me pay for this. But that's okay, because I am always one to be at the forefront of pushing what is best options for our black children. And I'm not here to make a judgment on CPS versus school choice. What I am here to say is that parents know the best for their children. And don't limit the options of our children's success over political dynamics that have absolutely nothing to do with us. I want parents to have the best option for their child to have the best outcome, which is what I would argue that most parents, good, bad, or indifferent, want. I want to tell you all thank you for coming in today. This has been a great conversation. I always enjoy. Anita, you always welcome. Nate, you always welcome too, man. Juan, you could co-host if you want to. But I want to make sure that we stay abreast of this. We want to update on what's going on in Springfield. We want to know who's with it, who's opposed to it, right? Let people know who wants to see our children educated and who is against our children being educated. Because I think we all know. I think there would not be such a demand for people to go to. Parents would not be trying to test their kids into all of these schools praying that my kid is classical, or what is it? Is it gifted, classical? And then you be like, Dad, well, do they have any regular seats for the regular students? And I think about like when I used to pull up to Skinner, right? And this is before there was 2 Skinners.
Yeah.
And I remember Skinner was the private public school. So if you pulled up to Skinner, all you saw in the morning was 1 and 2 digit license plates. And people were doing everything they could to get their children into that school. And there were schools right around the street, but you would see every politician and every who's who with clout dropping their kids off. And then when you pull up in front of Whitney Young, right? And now you go to Northside Prep, right? You go to Walter Payton, you see that there is school choice. It's just we ain't getting the pick.
Exactly.
And we're hoping to be getting picked. But you know, if I undereducated you all the way till pick time, guess what? You ain't gonna make it. So look, y'all, I appreciate you all being here today. Please come back. Please, as you are in Springfield, keep us up to date. Man, like I told y'all before, we might even want to come down there and broadcast. And let's talk to the legislators. Let's talk to the people. Let's set it up in the rotunda. And let's be like, okay, well, y'all welcome back. Come on over here.
You support us.
Do you support the education of black children? Right. Don't make it you. Make it our children. Broaden the space. And then tell the people yes or no. Do you support the option? Because it's so many people. It's crazy to me that I make a lot of fun of people in Chicago. I'd be like, CPS educated. You know, I went to Bolingbrook High School, so I'd be like, we conjugate pretty well. Right? We tell all of these jokes, but oftentimes we laugh to stop from crying.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes I have seen people that have all of the tools in the toolbox, but nobody has developed those tools. And so they find themselves in these challenging positions.
Can I just say something really quick?
You sure can.
One of the reason why we start at 6 weeks is because we want to ensure we are guiding the educational process from infancy. And so making sure that children, as they graduate from our preschools, itavschools.org.
Go ahead, say it.
itavschools.org is our preschool family. And by the time they are on a first or second grade reading level by the time they leave our preschools, which means that we can operate VLA. When I say we operate in excellence, we can operate at a grade or two above every grade level. So the kindergartners actually do a first grade curriculum. The first grade does a second grade curriculum. And
you mean your kid could get a jump? Y'all remember when you used to get a jump? I got a jump. I got to skip a grade.
Well, they don't jump they jump in terms of their exposure.
I'm with you though, because essentially then it seems like all your first graders are really second graders.
Yes.
All your second graders are really
gifted.
Third graders.
Everybody's gifted.
Now where you heard of everybody gifted? Huh? Village Leadership Academy.
That's right.
Right?
VLAcademy.org.
There it is. All right, and then we got Nate over here. Y'all be careful, because Nate will get you in trouble, right? Hey, man, I seen a preview of that movie. You trying to get mothers killed. Killed.
Facts.
Lord have mercy, Jesus. I saw a preview. I was like, yeah, they got a movie coming out, y'all. It's going to be ugly. Anyway, y'all, it is the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. For Anita Hutchinson, for Nathan Hoffman, and for my man, Juan Rangel. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, and I want to thank you all for being here today. Shout out to Empower Illinois. Tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., go to empowerillinois.org. I'm telling you, if you go there at 6:33, you're going to be mad. You are going to be mad. I'm telling you. At Holy Trinity, you get a letter. There's an email coming out every day. Hey, it's coming out. It's coming out. I bet you when I go home today, it's going to be an email. I might even get a phone call. And it says, hey, apply for those scholarships. I just want to thank you all for being here today. It was a great time having you. And we look forward to talking to you in the near future. Anita, always happy to talk to you. Tell Osei I said what's up.
Absolutely.
And all of them wonderful children. And didn't I see you in Paris or something? Weren't you over there with Aries or something? What you was doing?
It was my birthday.
It was your birthday. Look.
And then we were in Hawaii for her birthday.
Amen. Expand your
Must
horizon.
be nice.
Must be nice. All right, y'all. It is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages. Good stuff, guys.
Thank you very much.
No problem. I'm sorry we went a little long.
No, that goes really fast.
It does go fast. That was like damn near an hour.
Got to do the broadcast from Springfield.
Hey, I would love to do it. So, man, we did it yesterday. I'm just telling you, it'll be, people will be like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Although, I am trying to get that Senate from Patricia Van Pelt.
Okay.
So if I don't get it, I'm gonna run for it.
Somebody like my smile, okay?
Huh? You better stop it before Osei come over here. Osei will be down here talking about some woo-hoo!
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you guys. No, thank you. And if you ever want to bring the kids, you should. if podcasting is a thing. So if they ever want to, if you ever want to bring them over, if you ever want to set up a podcast studio, I'm just going to tell you, all the kids are trying to do it now. Okay. And so if there's ever a time, just let me know. I'll be happy to talk to them.
That's a great idea. We should really think through.
No, I'm telling you, podcasting. I want to be in the newsletter. Come on. Come on. Fellas. Text me that.
Thank you very much.
What's up, Antonio? Hey.
Oh, your mics are on.
Oh, my mics are on?
Yes.
Riis, turn the mics off. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
People are calling us, telling us.
Executive man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, rose for Japanese. No autumn. Definitely earned it, so make my payment high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Reach the Ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Got my mind right again. Did it all in spite of the hate. Every time they said that I can't. Nebulous, they run through my veins.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more in black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and I'm back in the building. No, I'm not gone. I want to send a big, so first of all, big shout out to Empower Illinois. I don't think that I had anything secretive to say. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you for everybody that hit me up. I think it's interesting that, you know, that we shouldn't have a choice. I think that's just an interesting thing. But I was glad to talk to them. Shout out to Anita Andrews Hutchinson. We go all the way back to the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Shout out to Juan Rangel, Metropolitan Leadership Institute. And shout out to Nathan Hoffman, who, you know, the school choice fight is a big, big thing. And to see a brother as the point person, that does the politics, that does the legislative work, it was a good conversation. You know, I'm not anti-CTU. I'm not anti-school choice. I am pro-black children having the best opportunities. Everybody can't get their kid into Kenwood. Everybody can't get their child into Whitney Young or Northside Prep. Does that mean that the child has to then go to a school that a lot of leaders wouldn't send their children to? No, the court was in. We didn't take the court out. So whatever happened is whatever happened. But it wasn't the court. I took it out and reset it again, but I didn't knock it out. I didn't change it. But it's neither here nor there. I don't really have, thank you to Deborah Roberts, who said Maze don't have nothing to hide anyway. I don't, right? I told you those were my friends. Those are my people. I talk to everybody. So the funny thing is when people want to tell you who you can and cannot talk to and the penalties that you get for talking to certain people but not other people, I'll be honest with you. All the people who be telling me who and what I can and can't do, a lot of people come in, they don't ever advertise. They don't ever put nothing down. I help a lot of people, right? So, friends are friends. You let them be. Yeah, that's it. All right, y'all. I want to get to this statue. I want to open up the phone lines. I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about, but this statue, this king statue in Boston, and I ain't gonna lie, I was looking at another picture. You gotta stay off Brian Mullen's Facebook page, but he also showed a picture of President Obama's statue or painting that featured what looked like a sperm cell on his face. And so, you know, I'm all for the abstract art, and I'm all for it. But I want to understand, guys, what am I missing? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up a picture of the statue, but from all different angles, so you can see what I'm talking about. Right? The Willie Wilson ads are coming. He sent me the updated Ricky. But the ones that he had sent me yesterday were blurred. Now I got to get them out of the box. Let me do this though, real quick. Shameless. I'll put a Willie up now. Let's do this. Riis,
why not Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago? The criminals won't like Willie Wilson in the mayor's office. Fighting crime is Willie Wilson's first priority. Willie Wilson is ready to take on the criminals. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor. Willie Wilson is ready to take on the criminals. The city streets are not safe. Willie Wilson knows that personally.
My son was murdered. I know the anger and I know the pain.
Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor. Why not Willie Wilson for mayor of Chicago? The criminals won't like Willie Wilson in the mayor's office. Fighting crime is Willie Wilson's first priority. The city isn't safe. The city streets, the CTA, are not safe. Willie Wilson knows that personally.
My son was murdered. I know the anger and I know the pain.
Willie Wilson is ready to take on the criminals. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Willie Wilson for mayor.
I like that. Finally, Chicago, do it right. Like, Willie, like, damn, how many times I got to run to show y'all that this stuff is not right? And I will tell you tomorrow, the ads will be updated. And they'll be a lot clearer. Willie Wilson clearly has a Android. All right, so let's go back to this. Let's go back to this statue, the MLK and Coretta Scott King statue. I want y'all to give us a call at 872-259-7474. I'm going to show it to you from a variety of angles. And what you're looking at right now is the statue head on, the way that you're supposed to see it. And what apparently it seems to be is the embrace. What do they call it? Boston unveils the embrace sculpture of ML King. Wait, first of all, they say MLK and Coretta Scott King. Let's call it Boston unveils embrace sculpture of Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King. So that's the face-on statue to the right. Now I want you to look at it from some variety of angles, and I want you to watch the right side of the screen. Because if you look at the right side of the screen, these are the angles that people are pushing out and promoting, right? And apparently, it appears as if, I don't know, but I feel a certain way about these statues. Now, they say it was a black artist, but I do honestly want you to see that I feel like they have. Is it possible that this has a double entendre? Is it possible that the artist did not know or see what apparently we see? Or is it that my mind is just in the gutter? But I need for you to check this out because, again, family, this statue was unveiled in Boston, and it's not lost on me that it's Boston, where they really don't like black people. I'm going to show you a couple of them. But many of these statue positions seem to be I don't know, man. Am I crazy at what I'm looking at and what am I seeing? Or am I just way too far to the left here? Because for me, looking at these statues seems to be a diss It seems hypersexual. Am I crazy? Do you see it, or is it me, Riis? Is it just me? Or do you look at this statue and like you look at this angle right here? It seems to me as though I see a lot of different things and none of them really remind me of the embrace except for the very first one. But if you're walking up, and even if I look at that embrace right there, is my mind in the gutter? I wonder, is my mind in the gutter?
Well, you know, sometimes. Hey, you ever, and it's not like, I won't say like ignorant, but you ever look at a piece of art and they be like, this costs $500 million. And you be like, that? It just look like they just threw paint. So sometimes, you know, to us, it could look something, but to like art, it could look real good to like some, you know what I'm saying, like an artist. So you see what I'm saying, though?
I mean, I think that it's left up to your interpretation.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But you know what it feels like to me? It feels like to me one of those things where they say, what do you see first? If you're looking at this and you see a man doing blah, 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 then get your mind out the gutter because it's really the embrace. But I think I saw the picture first from all of these other angles, right? And so when you see them from all of these other angles and you have no context, and then somebody finally has to bring you around to the front one where that shows the hands. But I gotta be honest with you, even in showing the hands, it just seems very weird to me. And I was wondering, do you think that we were being trolled? Give us a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. Now, let's be clear. When you commission art from an artist, you don't usually get to tell the artist what the art's supposed to be. The artist tells you, you commission the artwork, the artist then produces what they have been inspired to do. You said, give me a Dr. King statue. Where is the statue located to? Is it downtown or is it in the hood? So, because it looked like the project's right next to it, so that the kids can be looking over it. I don't know. It's just interesting. Very, very interesting. And I think that they say it's a black artist. Do you think that it was intentionally ambiguous? Because, guys, ladies and gentlemen,
the artist black?
Yes.
I just really think it's just how we interpret it in.
I mean, I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that it seems very phallic to me. And then being phallic, you know. So, I don't know. Did you all see that picture of the Obama painting that was in let me see if I can go to Brian's page, because Brian, you gotta stay off Brian's Facebook page, So anyway, give me a call, 872-259-7474, 872-259-74. What are your thoughts on the statue? Should we support it? Or should we be suggesting that this statue is dishonorable? I feel like you can't really tell an artist what they thought. But I do feel like this is low-key shade. And I'm going to be honest, did anybody watch Channel 7 last night? Not Channel 7, Channel 11 last night? No, because y'all was busy watching the playoffs. They were talking about Dr. King in Chicago, and I got just another point on Dr. King. Dr. King said when he came to Chicago, he had never experienced racism like that and hate in the Deep South. Can I tell you something when I was watching that? Do y'all remember when your parents used to make you watch Channel 11 during King Day and everybody had to watch the black people get hit over the head and the dogs eat you up and all of that stuff? And it was like, that is our history. I was thinking about all the people that were out in the streets that were, like, they showed young white teenagers and all of that stuff. And remember how we saw that video of, or that picture of Jerry Jones trying to block the black kids from going into school in Arkansas? What happened to the racists in Chicago that was throwing rocks at Dr. King? Because by my calculation, those people should be walking amongst us. And how do we deal with them? Like, can you ever, do you stop being a racist? Do you have to apologize? Or do you just say, I'm not a racist anymore? Because I'm curious to know what happened to all of those people that was throwing rocks, that was living in Marquette Park, that were 19, 20, that are probably like 50, 60 now, 60, 70 now. Where did they go? Did they move or do they still live here? And how often do we run into them? You think y'all ever see anybody that we know? You think anybody we know in politics now was throwing rocks at Dr. King back in the day? And I want to point out that they said that this was the first place Dr. King kind of lost, where he was just straight up like, I just got to get up out of here. The racism in Chicago is strong. Back to yesterday at the event, and I was talking to y'all about where do black people feel about immigration. Yesterday at the event, a lot of people stopped by the table. A lot of people stopped in to say what's up to us. One of the most interesting things that I saw yesterday, though, was Chuy Garcia. Chuy Garcia, for about 15 minutes, stood within 4 feet of our table. And they cautiously avoided making eye contact or the ability to ask him to sit down at the table. And what I found funny yesterday was that with 3 black radio stations in the building, Mr. Garcia felt comfortable being in the building, walking around, but not talking to any of the stations. And it gets me to thinking about Mr. Garcia's skillful avoidance of the black issue. And I was curious to know, did anybody find it curious that Mr. Garcia came to the King Day celebration as the continuation of Harold Washington's legacy, but didn't talk to the people? And I'm curious to know Is that what we could expect from a Garcia administration? You know, I was listening to the other station when he came on. And they asked him, does he need the black vote to win? And what he said was, I'd like to have the black vote. But he never said he needed the black vote to win. And it is very concerning to me after observing yesterday that Mr. Garcia skillfully avoided black people at a black event. And I wonder, is that the existence that we will have if chosen as mayor? I honestly believe that Mr. Garcia, I would like to extend the invitation to you and your staff and to you to come to the Mays Jackson show and answer questions. I want to know where you stand on the migrant issue, because can I tell you what, guys? Of the 56 closed schools, they're in the black neighborhoods. I didn't see anybody going to Little Villita. I don't see anybody. Do you see any welcome wagons in Little Villita? No, because we recognize that there's a difference. Let me go to the live line, though. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson show. What up?
Hello.
Hello. Does this sound like Katie?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Katie, president of the phone club. What's going on, my darling?
Well, I want to say that yesterday's show was very nice. I felt like I had the best seat in the town. I think you did an excellent job with inviting people to come over and talk. Politicians, etc. That's the first thing I want to talk about. The other thing is that I think the people that were involved in protesting Martin Luther King when he was here in Chicago, I think they live in Tinley Park and the suburbs undercover. I think they're greatly undercover. Because I'm amazed sometimes when I talk with some of the older people, like white people like myself, they grew up on the south side, but they live in Tinley Park. They live in those suburbs. That's where they're at. The other thing is about that statue. I like different kinds of art, but you know that's going to take a little bit of getting used to. That was very strange to me. And then kids, the first thing they're going to say is some other stuff. So, well, this looks like this and this looks like that. So it's a lot of thoughts that I have about that statue. Let's see. What other subjects you want us to talk about this morning?
Talk to me about how did Chuy Garcia skillfully avoid us, and where do black people stand on migrants coming to Chicago?
Well, I'm surprised that a lot of some black people, especially the church-going black people, they are, they want to welcome everybody in. They don't understand the political and that our people have to fight for their rights in the United States and in Chicago. We let everybody in any kind of way, and we're going to pay for it. I mean, my daughter, she couldn't live in Chicago because she could not afford the rent in Chicago. It's a lot of other reasons too, but she couldn't afford the rent. Young black people, they're looking for opportunities. They can't find a lot of opportunities for a lot of different reasons. And Garcia, he wanted to avoid you. He don't want to answer those questions. Because those people, Latinos, they're very quiet. The white folks, rich white folks, they're very quiet. They got lots of places, especially they belong over there in Little Village, where they could be integrated more into the community. Because we let them over here, okay? In our area, we're going to face the next thing they're going to want to do is take over. So take over everything.
Now, let me ask
you. So anyway, we got to be very careful.
Yeah,
Pardon?
No, thank you, Katie. Don't hang up. You know what, Katie, I was thinking about, though? I don't know that the Mexican community is really like we keep saying send them to Little Village or all of those places, but I was just thinking about, do you know, like, a lot of Latinos don't necessarily get along because they have lineage, right? So what we see is that, think about the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans. A Mexican and a Puerto Rican, they don't get along with each other. But they don't get along with each other.
Yeah, they catching hell.
And so,
they catching hell. They got a scrimp and scrape to stay to make a living over here. They know they catching hell. No, they don't get along with each other. And the vendors, the street vendors over there, I don't know who's holding up the little Mexican street vendors, the little ladies and gentlemen that's over there trying to sell their goods. It's hell. The streets are not lined with gold, as they tell the people around the world. So it's something else.
Okay. I'm going to tell you. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate you. You know, Katie got her hair did. So when you see Katie with her hair did, she got a lot of stuff to say on her mind. Marjorie Tatum said, Maze, did you hear about the EMT workers downstate who treated a drunk black man like a dog and threw him on the gurney and he later died? They were both arrested, white woman and white guy. Our friend Teresa with the NAACP in Springfield was interviewed about it. This should be a big story here. It was shameful, and they will probably pull the video soon. Send me the video, Marjorie. I want to see it. And then let's reach out to Teresa and find out what's going on. All right, y'all. This has been the Maze Jackson Show. We got it done today. Shout out to Empower Illinois. Shout out to everybody who tuned in yesterday. It's a lot I want to talk about that I missed today because our Empower Illinois event, our Empower Illinois conversation went a little bit further than we did. Hey, I want to remind you all, on Thursday, we are having a fundraiser at Obsidian for 3rd Ward Alderman Pat Dow. I know. But you got to make friends, man. So I hope that you all, if any of you all are interested, you're more than welcome to come through. BP1, what's in it for the black people? Y'all need to be in the building anyway so we can be felt. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I don't know if we got anything else. Anybody? Oh, let me say happy birthday. Let me send out my happy birthdays real quick to all the people who are celebrating a birthday. But I'm waiting for him to come across the screen real quick. Happy birthday to Lamont Record. Y'all remember Lamont? I remember the first time I met Lamont was during the shutdown of Michigan Avenue. Jorge Londano, Sidney Cohen, Trudy Holmes, Dana Ty Pope. Y'all check Dana Ty Pope out on the Walmart website. Her art is there. Duke Art, Joshua Vincent, and my good friend from out west, Reggie Sanders. Also want to send a big shout out to the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha who celebrated their founders on Sunday. And shout out to my sorors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated who celebrated on Monday. And to all the sororities who didn't invite me to none of y'all stuff, that's okay though. How y'all gonna not invite the inventor of the Greek challenge? It's okay though. It's okay. That's all right, because I'm gonna go where I'm on it. I'm gonna show y'all love, but I'm gonna go ahead. I ain't gonna have no attitudes. I ain't gonna act funny. But just know, I be knowing. And when I see the pictures, and I be like, all these people here, y'all ain't invite me. It's okay. It's all good. I'm not sensitive. But I will remember. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more in the black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police said, they footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around.
Hold it, because she done came off her tune-in nap, and I'm going to let her go ahead because I know she got something good to say. So hold on, don't leave yet. We're going to answer the phone. Sister Zakiya, you on the Maze Jackson Show? Sister Zakiya, you know you special because I had already closed the show, and then they told me you was on, so I opened it back up. So you better have a good one today. What's going on, Sister Zakiya?
You know, that's why I love you, my son. And I could cry when I found out that they had you set up around the corner in the hallway yesterday at the breakfast. I was there, all up in there, all over the place with everybody. So quickly, let me tell you what the highlight of the day for me at the breakfast. Your mayor, Lori Lightfoot, had a little entourage of people, a photographer and others.
That's your mayor.
Hobnobbing behind.
That's your mayor, not my mayor. That's your girl. I'm still down with Anjanette.
Oh, yeah. Hey, well, you know we on the same page. I was just being facetious, but they were leading her from table to table, shaking people's hands, doing things she should have been doing from the very beginning with Black people. But now, her knowing that she's a day late and a dollar short, she's going around to all of the tables. She's being led. And her lead person that's leading her on, which I don't even want to call his name because I dislike him so much. Just to say his name puts a nasty taste in my mouth.
You got to tell me. You got to let the people know, though. You got to let the people know. Just say it. Just a little.
It's going to make me vomit when I say his name. I'm telling you.
Get a bucket.
Wallace Gator Bradley was leading her to all of the tables. Now, see, I'm getting ready to vomit now.
Did he have on a sweatshirt? Did he have on a Lori sweatshirt?
Yeah, he had on that old tight sweatshirt. Yeah, he had it. It needs to be washed. Anyway, leading her to all of the tables, shaking hands. And when they got to my table, I got up and left and went to another table because I know good and well I couldn't hide my vibe. That energy, I just can't hide it when I don't like you.
That's me too, Sister Zakiya. They always tell me, fix your face. Yeah. I can't. If I don't like you, I just want to be like,
No. I thought it was downright ridiculous. And people were talking about, they're like, is she crazy? She should have been doing this all the time. I don't want to shake her. But, people are trying to be nice and faking a smile. What y'all call that? Fake.
Phony kicking. They was phony kicking it yesterday, Sister Zakiya.
I called it. I phony kicking it. That's what some of the people were doing when she was coming to the table. But here's the other thing, quickly. The first Dr. Martin Luther King statue that they put up in Washington, D.C., we hated it. And we called all of the elected officials. They took it down, and they put what they have there now. The first one was a joke. I think some Asian man put it together. But we need to find out how we can contact the people in Boston and complain against that vulgarity that man put up there. It looks ugly. It looks like a sex act being performed.
I knew I wasn't crazy. Like. I knew I wasn't crazy. It looked like somebody's head was. Not. I was like, this looked like somebody's head between somebody's legs, and I just wasn't supposed to say it, but it was. Yes, it was. Sister Zakiya, it was.
Now the last thing, the AKAs was at DuSable Museum. We left the breakfast and went there, and they had the most beautiful day over there with the children. They were giving away prizes that were great prizes. They were giving away pots, stainless steel, beautiful pots and top-up-ware and all kinds of fans. And, really rattling off some really good stuff for children and adults. And the Detox, hip-hop Detox brother was there. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Enoch Muhammad.
Brother Enoch Muhammad was there, and they put on a beautiful show. Adults my age was loving that because, he teaches the young people, and as well as they do the positive, because they went back to the last poets, and that was my day. The revolution will not be televised, that's my day type of. rap. So that's all I want to say quickly.
Hold on, Sister
Being
Zakia.
led to the table.
But did she have a white girl with her too? Because I feel like, did she have a black entourage, or was Gator the black person and then it was white people?
This was a black entourage. I don't remember seeing nobody white in
The
there.
white girl tell everybody what to do. The white girl with the blonde hair tells everybody what to do.
No. The leader, the person whose name makes me vomit, he was leading her to different people and taking her over to this person and pointing them out and taking that person.
Sister Zakia, why you didn't bring her to me? Why you didn't bring her to the Maze Jackson show? They was all out there.
Well, you know what? Well, I didn't know you were out there. I'm telling you, I got so distracted. But then I do remember you saying you was going to be there. But it was so many people in that hallway, and it was like a reunion because we hadn't been together like that in such a long time. I got distracted, Maze. You know I would have been over there. I would have been bringing everybody over there.
And Sister Zakia, first
but
of all.
But the AKAs, they really did it. They did it up yesterday at the Deuce Museum. AKA
Oh, are you AK? They gonna get you. They gonna come over to Sister Zakia. So I got something for you.
My daughter.
Oh, your daughter is?
Both of my daughters, AKA Howard University alumni,
Ooh,
AKA
Alpha chapter. Look at you.
Iowa State. Yeah, Iowa State University alumni, both of them. Yeah, they both AKA.
Now, Sister Zakia, real quick. Did you see Chewy Garcia while you was there?
You know what? I saw him in passing because it was so much other stuff. You know, I do networking when I'm out at these big events. I didn't get a chance to go over and acknowledge, because I always acknowledge him. But I did not even get a chance to go near them. But they were sitting at the table. That's when I saw them, when they were sitting.
Was
but
they sitting
was
at the
so
mayor's
much
table?
other stuff.
I just say like this, Sister Zakia. Do you feel a certain way when all the white people who show up over at the King Day breakfast but don't talk to no black people no other days?
I didn't see a lot of white people at the King breakfast.
I must be honest with you. This is the least amount of white people I've seen too.
Yeah, right. It was. And usually those big corporations, they come in suit and tie down and, you know, sitting around looking wise and otherwise. But I didn't see a lot of that. It was a lot of our people there. Now, I saw some people, I think these were the supporters of our sister Josephine Wade of the restaurant down there on 79. I saw, and they might have been her guests, or, you know, they might have given some money to the, I don't know. But I had a problem with Lori Lightfoot running around the different tables, and Jonathan Jackson was up there delivering the
She was rude. I heard that she was rude. He's talking and she running around shaking hands, being disrespectful. But then she came up talking about some hello. 3 times she tried to tell people the reality is don't nobody want to talk to you, ma. So they was trying to be cool, but she wanted everybody to be like standing round the veil. Let me ask you a question. Who's more popular, do you think, with black people? Rom or Lori?
You mean who? Say that again.
Rom or Lori?
Oh, God. I don't think there's no popularity there.
I bet you all the black people.
There's no popularity because
people
Lori
they miss.
Shows,
Go ahead.
She showed me who she really is. I wanted to be supportive of her because she's a black woman. I don't care what else she calls herself. I want to be supportive of her because she's a sister. But, hey, she left me no choice. Either one of them were popular to me. Rahm Emanuel hated black people. Did you see his record when he was a congressman? Everything came across his desk that was helpful to black people. He voted against it. I got to get that information to you so you see. Oh, that man is terrible. There's no popularity there. Shame on Lori Lightfoot. Black women wanted to be supportive of her, and she let us down.
So,
anyway,
Zakia,
that's all I want to
And let me tell you what, that's why I stopped the show when I saw you was on the line, because I know you had to come up off your TuneIn app to come on over here and tell us how you really felt. And if I want to know how somebody really felt, I can always count on Sister Zakia. So with that, Sister Zakia, I want to tell you thank you. And guys, we about to go back over one more time. We're going to start this thing from the beginning. I am the host of the
Thank you, my son.
Thank you. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. He said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more in black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get the Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.